you lost weight only to gain it right back after returning to your routine? Did your diet work for someone else but not you? Rockin' That ID Life helps you understand your genetic makeup to find a lifestyle that fits your needs. Together, you and RockinThatIDLife.com can focus on your health and meet your goals today. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a proud sponsor of Let's Go Blues Radio. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in their awesome tap room. That's Center Ice Brewery, located in Midtown St. Louis. Let's go Blues! Happy New Year's Eve. Welcome to our special Friday Lunchtime live show. This is Season 10, Episode 16 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're the often imitated, never duplicated, holiday celebrated, 10-time defending podcast champion, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Special thanks to RockinThatIDLife.com and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. It is Friday, December 31st. I have my dates off here. And we're broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. This is franchise episode number 334 all time. To interact with the show, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just do a search for us. You will find us. I'm Kurt Price. My co-hosts for the big show are Jeff Ponder and Bill Day. And today we are talking St. Louis Blues hockey. Guys, welcome. Any New Year's Eve plans tonight before we get into some Blues talk?
Let's see. For me, we have doing Let's Go Blues Radio in the afternoon, and that's about it. I got plans tomorrow night for Winter Classic. I figured that would probably be a little more fun. I've never been a big New Year's guy. I don't like going out. Even when I was in my 20s, just the bars are too packed. It's too hard to get to the bar, to get to the bartender. Yes, the last couple of years, the wife and I have just enjoyed nice, quiet evenings at home and hung out, just the two of us. Cheers at midnight, in bed by 12:30. That's kind of how we've been. So tomorrow night's the bigger night for me.
It's kind of like I guess if you go out on New Year's Eve, it's almost like a college atmosphere as far as like trying to get a beer at a bar.
Yeah. It's just not worth it, right?
It depends. I guess it depends where you go and who you're with, and I don't know, the atmosphere that the place is with. I don't know, but yeah, it can be a hassle and very busy, and with Omicron out there, and just if you don't want to get sick, I mean, you stay home. Bill, what about you?
Yeah, we're definitely stay-at-homers. I think the last time, and this Kurt will get this reference, and if any of our college friends will listen to this, they'll get it. The last time that I did anything social on New Year's Eve was the time we skated at Jeff's parents' house.
What year was that?
Not me.
Probably 2000. Yeah, Jeff Price, Kurt's cousin Jeff.
Yeah.
It was probably 2003, 2004.
That was fun.
So
that was a small group of us, friends and stuff. We it was balls cold, and lake froze over, and we skated for a couple hours and crossed over New Year's and celebrated New Year's ice skating. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a very long time ago, and we've pretty much celebrated every Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve at home since. I mean, a lot of that has to do with wanting to be home with the dogs and keeping them calm with the fireworks, and when we lived in Cahokia, the gunfire. But that's been a few years removed now.
Yeah.
Although,
well, that's from
Troy. Still, you get a little bit of it.
Hoosier fireworks, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, in Cahokia, you have the Cowboys that are coming in, right, and facing the Indians on the mounds.
That's right.
That's what happens there, right?
Right.
That's right.
That's what I always assume.
I've never Cowboys. I'm not sure there were Cowboys around when the Cahokia what was the tribe what were they called? The tribe that was there.
I thought it was just the Cahokia Nation, but it was
Cahawks. No,
yeah, I don't know. It's been way too long since I've actually gone to the mounds, which is nowhere near Cahokia, the
That's
village,
true.
which is now Cahokia Heights.
And don't mistake the landfill for a mountain.
Right.
It's not the same. Not part of that.
Right.
Have you been to the mountains,
How
Jeff?
ironic.
No, I've actually never been. It's crazy because I've told my wife because she went for living in South County. They used to go for field trips to Cahokia Mountains. Me
Yeah.
being in St. Charles, the most field trippy St. Louis thing we did was like go to the Fox or something. So we never went as far as Cahokia Mountains. And
had a-
I told her recently, like, I kind of want to go just because I've never been. And she's like, "You're not missing anything. You don't need to go."
Yeah, I mean, it's mounds. There's a museum there, which if you like that kind of thing, it's probably interesting too.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm 50% Native American, so I'd probably get some enjoyment out of it, right?
Yeah, and something to do with Shay. If you have
that's true.
a Saturday with nothing else to do, it's not bad.
If you want to wear him out, just have him run down the hill. The mount, one of the
There
mounts.
you go.
We had a field trip. One of the most memorable field trips I had as a kid was going to the Arch, and then after the Arch, we went to the McDonald's riverboat. Yeah,
yeah.
On the that was before they got rid of it. That was pretty cool.
I think we did that. We went to the riverfront and went to the McDonald's. I remember just thinking that McDonald's was so cool.
It was so cool and so crowded. I remember being just so packed.
Yeah,
there's probably like 14 different schools there at one time.
Yep,
field trips. Yeah. Nice summer day in St. Louis.
So we got a couple comments we'll get to here. Matt Harris in the YouTube chat, who has he's kind of become the new Austin Lynch. Yeah, happy birthday, right? It is his birthday. I was going to read his comment, but YouTube just closed down for me, so hang on. Oh. Happy New Year's Eve, fellas. There it is. Not sure if anyone's drinking a beer, it being lunchtime and all, but I'm working on an unfiltered wheat beer from Boulevard in KC. That is one of my favorite beers.
Used to be one of my favorites too. I back in the day, I drank a lot of that. Yeah, it was good.
I still do. Yeah, wife and I love it. Adam Gold over in the Facebook chat says, "Hi guys, Schnickel Fritz on the Peloton with Let's Go Blues Radio." That is interesting.
Well, he's got to maintain. He's got to. As he works out.
So basically, he's not wanting to like put on more muscle. He's just wanting to maintain the muscle he has. Is that what he's doing?
I guess. I mean, if you want to drink a beer, you work out while you drink a beer, and then it's like you never drank it.
It evens out. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
It's Schnickel Fritz on the couch in my house.
Yeah. There you go.
We've redubbed Fritz Schnickel Fritz. So
nice.
And Adam also says,
is short for Schnickel Fritz.
It's very true.
Did we really stay up until midnight a year ago to scream for this 2021 garbage? My wife and I had this discussion. 2021 sucked, but it was better than 2020, right?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, well, okay. And now there were more deaths from COVID in 21 than there was in 20, but 20 was a shit show. Although 21 started off, January 6th. So that 21 did not start off very well at all. It was like 21's like hold my beer, right? So
yeah. I don't know. I think back to the opening of the movie Miracle, and they're doing the sound bites from the radio, setting up the time frame, and it kind of feels like that, right? There was a sound bite in there about more Americans today are less hopeful for the next 4 years than ever before, and I feel like over the last 8 years that kind of is like, no way this year could be any worse than last year, and every year something comes up, and I think we're getting to the point that there isn't a lot of hope that things are going to actually get better.
You know what? The entire nation, we're turning into Buffalo Sabres fans. This is how they feel. This is how they feel about their team every season. It's like, well, it can't get much worse, right? And I'll be damned, it is getting worse.
Wow.
So, was it like 8 years straight they missed the play? They've been like last or next to last. It's been terrible.
It can't get any worse. And then we signed the Jeff Skinner contract.
Right. Which, at the time that I remember seeing a lot of Buffalo Sabres fans wanting them to sign Skinner. So he was having a good year.
He had a great year.
Yeah.
He had a great year.
But now he's just, it was a contract year, right? So you do what you got to do as a player to get the most money you can, and which pisses you off as a fan, like to no end. It's like one of the worst things is you want your team to sign a guy, give him what you think is a fair contract or a good, maybe a little overpay, whatever, to keep him in Buffalo, and then he just does not do anything after that. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
The official beverages of episode number 334. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is at cprice12. Jeff's is jponder94. Bill's is Billy Blue Note 33. Jeff, what are you drinking this afternoon?
Well, Matt alluded to it earlier that we all may not be drinking a beer since daytime. I am not. I am drinking some wonderful ID Life from Rockin' That ID Life. This is the what is it called? The wild berry energy flavor.
You're asking me?
Love this stuff. Yeah, I can't. It's is it called wild berry? I'll have to look.
So you are rocking that ID Life today.
I am currently rocking that ID Life as we speak. How about that?
How about that? Oh, Mel Allen.
Tropical fruit. That's the one I'm drinking
Tropical
right
fruit.
now. Very good.
Is Mel Allen in the Baseball Hall of Fame? He should be.
That's a great question. Yeah.
This Week in Baseball, man. I loved that as a kid.
Time for Twib Notes.
Yeah, Twib Notes. How about that? He was. I mean, you can't do that kind of a show really now because of like instant gratification and instant news and 24-hour sports news and the internet and stuff. You didn't have to wait a week to see the plays of the week from around the league, right? In detail.
Yep.
But that was. I mean, back in the day, that was awesome. That was great. It was a Saturday afternoon show or something. I used to watch it. Maybe Sunday.
Yeah. He was one of the first two winners of the Baseball Hall of Fame's Ford C. Frick Award for broadcasting, along with Red Barber.
Okay, he won some awards, but is he in the Hall of Fame?
Right. He's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't.
Yeah,
believe. Wait, no. Hold on. There's so many Hall of Fames. Right?
I want to say I heard he was not.
I believe he's in the Bowling Hall of Fame.
Wait, no, he is in the baseball. That he's only one. He's only one.
Yeah.
He's in the American Sportscasters
Okay. All right.
Hall of Fame, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, and a couple of others, but the National Media Association.
I don't think he is.
When are we getting inducted into the American Podcasters Hall of Fame?
We really, I mean,
when does that happen?
We should actually start that. Actually, there is not one. I mean,
that would be awesome.
10 years.
Start a Hall of Fame just so we can put ourselves in it. Be the first inductee.
That'd be so us, right?
That would totally be us.
The
original and the Hall of Fame podcast. Let's go Blues Radio.
I mean, pioneers for St. Louis Blues podcasting, and 10 years on the air, right? So I mean, it's yeah. How can you? We need actually. There's so many St. Louis Blues podcasts now. We just need a St. Louis Blues podcasting Hall of Fame.
Yep, and we're the only inductees.
Right. Oh, that's you said it, not me.
Yep.
Bill, what you got?
So I'm drinking coffee, and bourbon barrel aged coffee and vanilla extract and a couple other things. I'm the only one with a proper beverage on the show.
Yep.
But for since I don't want to be the only one drinking, I'm drinking coffee in beer form. Founders Velvet Rush. My favorite beer. I decided that was my favorite beer this year, so go out with that as the last beer for the year on the show.
Yeah, because no one likes to drink alone. So just
you're
gonna sidestep a little bit. Drink it along with coffee. It's like you're not drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the fact that it's just a coffee ale. We'll skip the ale part. It's okay. I'm drinking coffee.
Mine is I'll hold up my Stanley Cup Champion Blues tumbler, or not tumbler. It's a tumbler with a lid, a double walled. Whatever, it's thermos.
A Tervis.
A Tervis? It's not Tervis.
Isn't that the brand that makes those?
It is Tervis. You're right. It is Tervis.
Yeah, it's called Kyle Tervis. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm having the ID Life with as my little package of the Energy ID Life powder mixer with it's the pina colada flavor. So we're touting the sponsor today, and I'm having it because it's good. And this is the pina colada that
pina coladas are getting caught in the rain.
Right.
If you're not into yoga,
right? Where you have half a brain.
if you have half a brain,
Yeah, that's combined on this show. I think we have half a brain
yes,
At best.
at best. On our best days, right? Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, December 31st, 2016. St. Louis Blues defeat the Chicago Blackhawks by the score of 8-7 in the Winter Classic alumni game. All 8 Blues goals are posted in the video clip on the @STL Blues History Twitter account. So check that out if you'd like to see that. That's courtesy of Bally Sports Midwest, that video is. December 31st, 2002, Reed Lowe of the St. Louis Blues had 53 penalty minutes versus the Detroit Red Wings. He had 4 minors, 1 major, 1 misconduct, and 3 game misconducts. How did he get 3 game misconducts in 1 game? Ranks 5th most penalties and minutes in an NHL game. His single game high was 57. Last player to receive a triple game misconduct. How do you receive a triple game misconduct?
You haven't seen that. That's one of the last times we've probably seen something like that, right?
Yeah, you don't see that anymore at all.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't. I mean, it was 2002, so it's not that long ago. 19. I guess it is. It's almost 20 years ago. Jeez. December 31st, 1985. A shot by Doug Gilmour of the Blues strikes Penguins goalie Bill Gillies Maloche. How do you say that? Maloche?
Gilles Meloche, right?
Gilles Meloche. Bill may be frozen.
Bill is frozen. That's hilarious.
Or he's deep in thought. He's just.
I actually was like, he is really thinking about this one.
Yes.
But no, he is
He's frozen.
I believe it's Gilles Meloche, but I could be incorrect.
Okay. And his face mask ends up sitting on top. The shot hits him in the face mask, and then his face mask ends up flipping off of his head and landing on the top of the goal. And a goalie gets hit in the mask. It's okay. It happens a lot. But if you watch the video, which is also shared on STL Blues History Twitter account, you can see that the shot just like destroys Milosh. It takes it in the face, goes flat on his back, and the mask flies up in the air and then lands on the top of the goal. Kind of a, scary incident. Players he looks unconscious. So if you want to see some scary stuff, go check out the STL Blues History Twitter account and check that out. That was 85. That was right when I was getting into Blue. I don't remember that. I was young.
No, I don't remember that. I would have been in diapers. So I was 10. I'm kidding. No, I would have been about 6 months, 8 months, about 8 months old when that happened. So yeah, I don't remember that one bit.
Chances are the game was on TV anyway.
Yeah, good call.
Half of them weren't.
Kurt, I have some really bad breaking news that we'll get to before we go to break here. According to the Facebook chat, and I've confirmed it with Google search, Betty White has passed away.
No.
I know, dead at 99.
They were just talking about they were going to have something for her 100th. Oh,
that's crazy.
Was it suddenly,
really
I guess, or because
I don't know.
2 days ago, I read something. They did some kind of story on how they were going to celebrate her 100th.
Yep. According to, I guess, TMZ is the first one to post it 43 minutes ago. So very, very breaking news.
Awful. Because Ryan Reynolds tweeted something about a couple days ago about about how he never got over Betty White as a lost love.
Let's see.
Are you sure?
They're saying she passed away at her home.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all over. So I think it's real. I remember that happened a couple of years ago, and she came out and said, "I'm not dead."
Yeah, that every once in a while someone says, "I'm not dead." Oh.
No, I think this looks pretty legit.
That sucks.
Yep.
New Year's Eve. It was, I guess, just happened today or last night.
Today. This morning. It said 9:30 a.m.
And when was her birthday? It's just in a few days.
It's coming
right?
up. It's in a couple days. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 100 years old is an arbitrary number. It's just it's a number. But
January 17th is her birthday.
Okay, so yeah,
Just
2
short
weeks.
of 100.
Not that getting to 100 and then dying would have been okay. But
yeah, right.
That's, an icon. That's gonna be all over the news for all day, next couple of days. Man, sucks. Okay.
Well, let's what uplifting news to take us into break.
Right. And on that note, maybe if Betty White had drank more ID Life, she would have made it to 100. Is that a good segue?
That's a great segue. Great work. It's safe to say that the Burn Box from RockinThatIDLife.com provides you with the sugar bustinest, muscle buildingest, mood enhancingest, focus inducingest, energy boostingest, hootinest, shootinest experience. You not only get the excellent product, but you get recipes, menu options, a tracker, and program guide to assist you along your self-betterment journey. Based on your goals, you can double up on Slim Plus or Energy, or you can get one of each. With flavors such as mixed berry, tropical fruit, and orange, the Burn Box lets you enjoy the weight loss or muscle gain journey along the way. Become a VIP with RockinThatIDLife.com and place your Burn Box on subscription and you'll save 20%. And as always, text
the roughest, toughest He-Man, stuffest hombre has ever crossed the Rio Grande
and our friend Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order.
Now all of you skunks, clear out of here!
And go over to RockinThatIDLife.com.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Bill there. He's had some internet issues, so if he can rejoin, we'll bring him back into the fold. Good
I'll
luck
keep
there,
my eye on if he comes back.
Oh, he just sent a text. His internet is completely out at the moment. So,
all right, looks like you got to roll on.
Yeah, he said it's been happening all week. So that odd. We don't live that far apart, and mine's been okay. So. Hey, he needs to check his gigabytes. That's what it is. It's usually the problem.
Yeah, make sure the gigabytes are properly gigging.
Right, and then reset your gigabytes to make sure. That always helps.
Important.
Turn the gigabytes off and then back on again.
Yep. Maybe try taking some gigabytes away and then putting them back.
Right, that could because then you might or like jiggling the gigabytes a little bit to make sure.
Yeah,
loose.
yeah.
They could be loose.
Jiggle the gigabytes.
Right. Giggle the gigabytes. I like that. That needs to be a T-shirt. Have you giggled the gigabytes, Jeff Ponder?
I'll take it. Well, that'll be up on this store here pretty soon.
All right, Bill's gonna try to do a hard reset. So good luck, Bill. The Blues were successful in defeating the Edmonton Oilers 2 nights ago, 4-2. Returned to play after 10 days off. The last game for the Blues was a 4-2 loss in Winnipeg on December 19th. Games versus Ottawa, Toronto, and New Jersey were postponed due to league-wide COVID-related issues. It was Mike Smith versus Jordan Bennington in this game. Smith had missed some time with an ankle injury, and this was his first game in net since October 19th, missing 26 games.
And in case you did not hear that, John Kelly made sure to tell us that about 27 more times during the game.
The missing time.
Yeah, I don't know. It was early in the game. I joke, of course. John Kelly does a great job, but the wife pointed that out. She goes, "How many more times do we have to hear that Mike Smith's been out since October?" And I'm like, "At least 3 more times. You have to keep hearing it."
The 4-2 win extended the Blues' home point streak to 10 games. Thomas, Kyrou, and Perron returned to the lineup for the first time in seemingly forever.
Boy, did they!
I mean, right off the bat, too, right? Bushnevich and Barbashev were scratched. Bushnevich due to a non-COVID related illness, and I like how they have to say non-COVID related illness now.
Yeah.
And Barbashev.
Oh, that's the first thing you think when he said, at the very start, he said Buchnevich was a late scratch because of an illness. Everyone's thought was, oh God, COVID. But I think it was a couple minutes later, Pang reiterated that it was non-COVID related.
Right. And it could, because if it was COVID related before, assuming it wasn't a false positive, they're out for 10 days, at least. So, but that's changed now. It's now gone from 10 to 5, which is why Barbashev will be able to play in the Winter Classic tomorrow because I think he was due to come off of it tomorrow, which there was some question whether he could play in the game at that point. But since the league, the policy, the guidelines have changed from 10 games to 10 days to 5, assuming you test negative, right?
Right.
Then you can return to play. So that's good news for Barbashev, I guess. Edmonton was without their best defenseman, Darnell Nurse, who was out on COVID protocol. Draisaitl and McDavid both they brought this up on the show that they figure into about half of Edmonton's points that they score, which each of them. So
I think it was each of them were 49.5% involved in every single goal the team has scored.
Yeah, and it's like if you can shut them down, tall order, right? But if you can shut them down, you've essentially shut down the Oilers.
Yeah,
so
you can't. You have to make somebody else beat you, but that's way easier said than done with those two players.
Yeah. I mean, you've got arguably the best player in the league, and you've got Draisaitl, who is one of the best. And Bill.
It looks like Bill's back.
Let's bring him back in here, and I think he's there. There's Bill. Hey,
look at this guy! Woo!
Hey,
showing off his 6-pack.
Yeah, he's got the.
Give me a second to get my earbuds connected.
He's got his phone. That's it. The workaround.
Yeah,
I almost said reach around, but the workaround.
Reach arounds work too. That's never been a problem for me.
Hey, we can hear you, Bill. Can you hear us?
I would say let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, and the Blues did hold them in check pretty much this game. So that was a one of the reasons why they were successful in this game. First period,
and for the most part, they have in their time against the Oilers. David scored his first goal here earlier this season, which was a heartbreaking loss. Draisaitl has been neutralized for the most part. So, yeah, as long as they keep them off the scoreboard, Blues have no problem with the Oilers.
First period, the Blues about 4 minutes into the game, and the Blues look good. This was a fun game. It was an entertaining game. I mean, the Blues played well in this game. They looked well. They looked good. It was good to see that because you wondered how they're going to perform. Coming on a break or the 10-day layoff or whatever it was. So it was good to see right off the bat, all over Edmonton and the young stars of the Blues who returned to line in this game on this goal. Thomas and Kyrou. It was paired with they were paired with Tarasenko because of Barbashev and Buchnevich being out. The Russian line was no longer in this game, and Bill is
who needs them?
There we go, Bill.
You don't need the Russians anymore. Who needs them?
No, right. I mean, but with Tarasenko with Thomas and Kyrou looked dynamic.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that was a good sign because if something does happen with the Russian line, it can't keep it together or whatever.
So wait, if we're going to use the goalie logic that we hear from fans, that means we can just trade Buchnevich and Barbashev, right? We don't need them anymore.
right. Because
we found a different line for Tarasenko, so we can just get rid of those guys.
I'm not sure you can really use goalie logic with fans because fans goalie logic because, man, way more times than not, it's just a bad take. Okay, so Thomas scores. The Blues up 1-0, 4 minutes into the game. A nice sequence up the ice, helped by Dmitry Samarikov, a misplay. And this was his first game, his first NHL game, his first NHL shift. Kind of a misplay on the near boards that led to a 2-0 and a beautiful top shelf finish and tight by Thomas on what I thought was one too many passes at the time before the goal went in. I'm like, oh yeah. God,
I said the same thing. The way that the pass went over to Tarasenko, and then you could tell the way he positioned his body, he was going to pass it back. Yeah. I was like, no, just shoot it, Vladdy.
Put it on. But no, it worked. And Thomas, oh my God, the hands. I mean, he's in so tight. He's less than a foot, right, from Smith's pad, and he puts it top shelf. It's like, good night. That was beautiful. I mean, just in that play. I mean, I don't know if people who have never really played understand how difficult that is to just put it that at that angle up over the pad and top shelf. When I first saw this goal, I didn't realize he put it top shelf. I thought he put it by the pad, but then the replay, obviously, it's top shelf. I'm like, oh my god, the hands.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Bill, we can't hear you.
A little low, Bill. You're pretty low.
Fucking kidding me. Jesus. Hold on.
And I got your
We're
volume all
holding
the way
on.
up in here, show, so I
You
can't,
are very low.
can't do much about it.
Yeah,
my end.
it's.
There you go. That's better.
There it is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Because it's not coming through my earbuds at all. So,
Yeah, I can hear you.
fucking Spectrum, get your shit together. A week of internet outage. Like, just cannot get this shit to stay online for more than 2 hours at a time. I'm gonna have to
Our-
have somebody come out and fix it, I guess.
Spectrum's awful. And their DVRs are a piece of shit. They're terrible.
Everything about them right now, I'm regretting having gone back to them and paying them more money. But anyway, I was gonna say that the on the that Thomas goal, you're talking about how hard it is to go top shelf. Many times you get in that tight, and you're gonna try so hard to get it top shelf that you wind up shooting it over.
Yeah.
It's easier to shoot it over than to actually hit the net. So brilliant goal, amazing hands by that guy. And going into him in his last couple of games, he seemed like he was really struggling, and it seemed like he got the command of the game back with this game.
I thought Thomas looked fantastic in this game. I was surprised he
yeah.
only had the 1 point, the one goal. He was on it. That play, it was in the wasn't this third period? They going wide on the fenceman and put it between the legs to cut in front.
Yeah.
And he ended up passing it to the slot, and there was nobody there. But like, damn, I mean, shoot that puck. I mean, you're
Well,
I mean,
not to
no-
get ahead of you here, but the next goal, he was the one that started that play. Brought it behind the net, slid it to Krug, then Tarasenko, then to Kyrou. So without him going behind the net and making the play, that goal doesn't happen. So
yeah.
if there's such thing, a third assist, he would have gotten it on that.
Right. Speaking of which, Kyrou gets the Blues, puts the Blues up 2-0. And then Tarasenko hit Kyrou with a breakout pass at center. So it was, I guess, Thomas to Krug. To Krug. To Tarasenko.
Krug,
Yeah.
to Tarasenko, to Kyrou.
Right. Breakout pass at center seemed innocent enough at first, but Kyrou absolutely smokes. Who is it again? Oh, Dmitry Smarkov again at the blue line.
Poor kid.
I mean, his second shift. I felt so bad for him. His first career NHL game, his first shift makes a misplay on the boards, and the Blues score on it because of it. And his second shift, he gets smoked by Kyrou, and on a move that, honestly, I mean, Kyrou just kind of like stepped left, went right, just smoked him, and it didn't look good for him.
You could tell he was reading his body, which, as a defenseman, at least when I was growing up, and I know coaches still to this day tell defensemen, watch the eyes if you can. Watch the player's eyes. That will tell you where he's going to go. You could tell he's watching his body, because he does that cross move where it looks like he's going to try and cross to the blue line, but then he just steps to the right. And you could tell that whatever that what's his name again?
Samarkov.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell he just tried to read his body and just completely guessed wrong and gave Kyrou plenty of room to step in.
I thought Bouchard had an opportunity to make a play on Kyrou, but on the it was a 2-on-1 essentially, and so he's playing the pass, but then he gives Kyrou, there's a soft spot where a defenseman has to play on a 2-on-1 to take away the pass, let the goalie have the shooter, but you don't want to give the shooter a complete straight lane to the goal either.
Yeah.
You gotta try and keep him, off to the side a little bit and take the pass away. But And he didn't do that. He totally just faded away to I think it was Thomas on the wing,
Yeah.
and and gave Kyrou he walked all alone on
Yep.
Smith, and then he just, I mean, good luck, Smith, stopping Kyrou on a chance like that, because you're coming from right to left, and you just, I mean, Smith's got to hope that the puck hits him essentially. And okay, so Samarkov, that was his second shift, second poor play, allows the second goal. He played 2 shifts the rest of the game.
Yeah,
That's all.
he got sent down.
Did he get sent down?
Yep.
He got sent down.
Well,
last
Darnell
night.
Nurse is back.
Right.
Yeah,
He was
Nurse
only
is
playing
back
because Nurse
today.
was out, but still, it
Yeah.
was like, oh, that was a rough NHL debut.
Yeah, that sucks.
I thought Edmonton's defense was kind of bad. Not to take anything away from the Blues' performance today, but I didn't think it looked very good. That Keith looked terrible in this game.
Keith looked awful.
And what I hate to see it, right?
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
So bad.
Wakey,
So
Duncan.
bad. Yeah.
But yeah, so he played 2 shifts the rest of the game. Not impressed, apparently, the coaching staff. I mean, and at this point, Blues were looking great, up to nothing, getting the better chances, out shooting Edmonton. Thomas Kyrou Tarasenko line was especially good. Brown was all over the place early, especially involved in scoring chances. Just a good looking Blues squad early and most of the game. And even
They
when
looked energized. It was funny because, after the Winnipeg game, which, they had a bunch of string of wins before that, you get the Winnipeg game right before the break and they lose, and you think, well, these guys, it's going to go one of 2 ways, right? All the guys are going to come back, they're going to gel, and they're going to play great, which they did in this game. Or they're going to come back and they're going to look sloppy as shit because a lot of these guys haven't played in a couple weeks. They came out looking like the team we saw at the start of the season. I thought they looked fantastic in this game.
I did too. I mean, Edmonton's not the greatest defensive team, but
No.
and they looked
But
defensively.
talking about the defense, though, I thought the Blues defense was great in this game.
I mean, when you shut down, for the most part, Edmonton's offense, which is the number 1 ranked power play, they were only on power play 1 time in this game. Edmonton was, which is good. Stay out of the box against Edmonton because that's how they're going to beat you. The power play is 30. It's almost like 30.5%, something like 31%. So you do that, you're in good shape. Draisaitl scored to make to cut the lead 2-1, 32 seconds after Kyrou scored, and it was one of those goals that you hate to see when they're still announcing your goal, then the other team scores on you while they're still announcing the goal. So then the crowd doesn't know what to do. They can't celebrate the goal. They just it's just a depressing.
Yeah, you still hear the towel guy, the 1-2 after, and it just feels so forced and weird.
It's awful. So, no, it's like, stop celebrating. They just scored. We can't cheer our goal anymore because they shut us up. So it almost makes you want to get the goal announcement over quicker.
Yeah, right.
From time to time, this happens. I hate it so much when you score a goal and they score right after it, and it's like you don't get the announcement that you want, and the reaction from the crowd that you want. Always sucks. I think Draisaitl put a move on Brown to the point, getting inside position, skating in the middle of the ice, tops of the circle, between the circles. Let a wrist shot go that off the post and in. Perfect shot. Brown. I would say Brown's got to be better there, but Draisaitl is
That's a world class.
He's a world class move and a world class player. So I mean,
Right,
what are you
top
gonna do?
2 in the NHL.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
points.
in take into fact too that we've bitched on this show that Darren Pang does kind of go after younger players. We feel like a little bit. He's a little too harsh with calling out their play when he doesn't do the same for veterans. But I appreciated Darren Pang's call about Logan Brown in this game, because he said, I think it was after the first period, Logan Brown had a strong period. He had that one defensive mistake, but it's against Leon Draisaitl. It's not against some rookie who nobody's ever heard of.
Duncan
One
Keith.
of the best players in the NHL. Fuck Duncan Keith. Yeah, but it was a world class player that put the move on him. He's going to do that to 9 out of 10 players. It's not just because Logan Brown's young.
Second period, Bouchard ended up tying the game for Edmonton, tied it up at 2. It was midway through the second period. McDavid decided he wanted to play. It's interesting because every once in a while you'll see McDavid just like crank it up a notch. He doesn't do it all the time.
Yep.
But he like, you could tell he's skating with authority. He's like, I'm going to the goal. I'm scoring. And he had that look, on the board, a little give and go situation, coming out of the zone at center ice, and then goes wide on Parayko. Doesn't beat Parayko. I mean, Parayko takes him wide to the corner, and he just shoots from the end red line, almost in the corner, and it was a perfectly placed shot. Almost, it hit the crossbar, hit the post of the crossbar, and came out the other side. And then Bouchard quickly shoots. Bennington got back over it. I'm not sure he was set. Went through a double screen anyway. I don't think he saw it. Just had eyes, right?
I just want to add before this that there was a chance that Edmonton had where Bennington shut down McDavid one-on-one. And I thought that's worth pointing out that, it's so easy, and Bill can probably speak to this, when you see a sniper coming at you one-on-one, a guy like a McDavid, you can easily let your nerves get the best of you and make the wrong play, and then he's going to open your legs up and slide it between your legs or whatever. He did the right thing on this play. He kept his legs closed. He kept his body in front of him and didn't give him any lane to shoot. So, yes, this goal was an odd one, but nice seeing Binnington coming back and making some big saves against some big stars.
Yeah. On that, the play that you referenced, the the half break that McDavid had, I think Binnington did a great job recognizing that the puck was bouncing a little bit, and McDavid really only had one option, and that was to try to get him to open up the 5-hole, and he kept it tight and did a great job shutting him down. And you felt like the Blues got rattled then, on the subsequent play where McDavid hit the crossbar and the puck winds up back at the point. We've seen that way too often this year with shots from the point that just get through, right? The Blues have gotten away from ensuring shot blocks so much, and like Kurt said, double screen. Binnington had no chance on this goal. It's a well placed shot at the end of the day, and it tied it up. It is crazy to see when McDavid does decide to take over a game, and I guess it's hard to do that over 60 minutes over 82 games, but when the guy decides to do it, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, when he's on the ice, I mean, you see 97 on the ice, you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep an eye on him, because I enjoy watching him play. He's a fantastic player to watch play, just fun to watch. People just don't skate like him, and it's interesting how he just turns it on at times. And you can't play that way all the time, but it's like, he's turning it on. Watch out, something's gonna happen. And more times than not, something does. Then Tarasenko, 4 minutes after Bouchard's goal, Tarasenko scores to give the Blues the lead again, 3-2. Falk carries to center, passes to Kyrou at the blue line. He settles a tough pass just inside the blue line and hits a breaking Tarasenko in behind the defense with a pass through Duncan Keith. Again, hate to see it, Duncan Keith. Mm-hmm. And he beats Smith one-on-one. Nice little, Gizmo, how's your father? Forehand beats Smith stick side, right? Yeah. Earlier in the game, Smith and Tarasenko got tangled up, and Tarasenko went down in the crease, made some contact with Smith. Smith took exception, jabbed and shoved the back of Tarasenko's head as he was trying to get up. Tarasenko didn't like that none too much and got up and shoved Smith. And I was hoping, I'm like, man, I hope Tarasenko smokes him in this game for a goal.
You could see the fire in his eyes. And I said the same thing when that play happened. I go, oh, Vladdy's scoring tonight. He's going to score on Smith. And it felt good in the second period when he got that pass and came in and was like, oh, okay, time to make him look stupid.
He hit the post before that on Smith, not long before that too. So he was gunning, and you know what? When Tarasenko got up, you could tell what he was saying to Smith. What are you doing? What are you doing? In the back of the head. Yeah. I'm like, okay. I mean, you. I mean, in Smith's defense, Tarasenko goes down in the crease, makes contact. Smith, it wasn't egregious, right? But he kind of shoved the back of his head as he was trying to get up. It's hockey. Tarasenko didn't like it, so he scored on him later. So whatever. I don't know, Bill. I mean, I've seen Bill do worse to a guy in the crease.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, nobody ever likes giving up a goal, and Smith has been one of the more physical goalies in his career. Not to the level of Ed Belfour or Ron Hextall, but he's got a hot streak and not afraid to mix it up a little bit. And
And there's nothing wrong with that.
it's all it's part of the game.
It's hockey. It's hockey.
But
I mean, anybody that says that's not hockey is like, wow, you want the sport to be something it's not. I mean, even with fighting out of the sport, that kind of stuff's never going to go away. So,
yeah, and you say to Mike Smith's credit, the one thing I want to give him credit for, the mask he wore. That was a thing of
it's
beauty.
sweet mask. Yeah.
Grant Fuhr and Joey Moss tribute. It's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Are we going to get to talk about the Biddington mask? I didn't see if is that on the.
We talked about it last week, but
but if you like, but while we're talking about the mask, go ahead. I mean, with the Glenn Hall and Mike Lewitt tribute, which, yeah, we thought about you with the Mike Lewitt tribute.
Oh my God! When I saw that, I just I was like trying to figure out how many zeros I would put behind the check I would write to have that as my prized possession in life. I mean, apart from a game-worn Liute mask from back in the day, the
white
old
one, right? Just a white one, solid white.
Yeah, the solid white
solid
one.
white. Yeah.
Yeah, God, I would write a massive check to own that thing. It is by far my favorite Blues specialty mask. I love Brian Elliott's Cujo tribute, and you loved everything Cujo did when he was here. But man, this is probably my favorite Blues goalie mask in the last 30 years. God, I love it.
And I like the I love the mask. I'm with you, but I especially like the style that the goalies are. The goalies are is a sketched, it's like a blue pencil sketch, almost like a drafting blueprint style, but it's sketched with a blue pencil. Really cool look on both sides of the mask. I love it. And there's a pretty good game going on, Edmonton and New Jersey, 5-4, 9 goals, third period, about 11 minutes to go. If you're so inclined to watching a high scoring game, 5-4 Edmonton, third period. Solid scores for the Blues right off the get go in the third period on the power play. Only 16 seconds into the third period, and the Blues worked the puck around the perimeter for a few seconds. That's it. Setting up Perron for the one-timer on the left wing, which we haven't seen him produce on the power play left wing one-timer like he did last year. I think they're maybe trying to get back that a little bit, set him up over there, because that's a weapon that we haven't had necessarily as much as in the past, which he tore it up last year. But he got the shot off, got it on net, and then no one's boxing outside, and Son just slams home the rebound past Smith, which was...
I'll say it again, man. I know there's a lot of Jaden Schwartz fans out there, but I feel like he has been such a massive upgrade at that top line left wing. He's just been so good in that spot, just able to crash the net. He's got speed. He gets the puck to the net. He's everything you needed out of your winger on one of those in the top six. And I just don't think Schwartz fit this team anymore. I think it was time for him to move on, and I think the Blues found a good upgrade.
Yeah, and he wanted a lot of money for, what he brought. So, love Schwartz, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Saad brings a different, just as much scoring, and a different element in front of the net.
Mhm.
And that was the final 4-2. This win put the Blues in first place in the division. 1 point ahead of Minnesota heading to the Winter Classic game versus the Wild. The Blues are only 1 point out of first place in the conference, trailing Vegas, but we have a game in hand on them. Minnesota has 2 games in hand on the Blues as well, though. The Blues only gave Edmonton 1 power play in this game, which we talked about, and they have the best power play in the NHL. The Blues were 1 for 4 on the power play and have the 3rd best power play in the NHL and the best penalty kill in the NHL since December 4th. No shots on goal for Edmonton the final 10 minutes of the game, which is like shocking. And that was with them pulling Smith with 3 minutes to go. They didn't get a single shot in 3 minutes.
And let me ask you guys, you know that there's been times, especially lately, where the Blues will, they'll have the goalie pulled the other team. The Blues have a 1 or 2 goal lead, and you're kind of, oh God, like you're grabbing onto your seat and you're sitting on the edge. Even with McDavid and Draisaitl, every other shifting it, literally what they were doing, I never felt worried in this game the way the Blues defense played. I thought they played great.
I agree. I didn't feel worried when they came back and tied it 2-2.
Yeah.
I thought the Blues were playing a really good game. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll score next, or even if the Edmonton goes up, we'll come back. I had a feeling about this game. They were just, unless they just completely, tanked, but they were just playing good. I liked what they're playing. They looked good. Yeah, and when the kids are, Kyrou, Thomas, Barbashev, Brown, when they're all like buzzing and cycling and just on it, like, forget about it. We're winning the game. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think with this game, after having an unexpected week off, it was so, I don't know, just everything about it was feel good, right? You get an entire line back with Perron, Thomas, Kyrou coming back in. You're out without Bushnevich and Barbashev, but getting those guys in really injected a lot of confidence, and it's the kind of game you want going into a massive game like the Winter Classic.
Bennington looked good. Made a couple real nice saves early and in the 3rd period to maintain the 2-goal lead. Another good game from Tarasenko, putting up a goal and 2 assists, getting the number 1 star in the game. There was some commentary on Twitter after the game from another Blues podcaster about preparing ourselves for when Tarasenko gets traded this season. He's not getting traded this season. He's not.
I don't think so either.
I don't see the benefit unless you get blown away with an offer. And even then, I don't think you want to screw with the chemistry with the Russian line. Right? You could put Tarasenko on a couple different lines. It's obvious. And I think when the Russian line's healthy, that's where he is going to be. But it doesn't make no sense to trade him at the deadline. It doesn't.
Right. It's speculation because it's, it would be selling high, because right now Tarasenko is playing some of the best hockey that we've seen over the last, 4 or 5 years from him. And, so some people trying to get a reaction are gonna try to make that, make that point that he's going to get moved, and, is now a good time to sell? Not for the chemistry of the team. If all you're worried about is return and value, yeah, okay. But for the chemistry of the team, no, you don't move the guy. He's probably, I would say we may be witnessing prime Tarasenko right now.
He's okay. He doesn't get traded this season, not the deadline. I think if he has a good season this season and continues what he's doing, I think selling high, you mentioned that. I think this off season, I think that's when he might go at the earliest, because then you're going to get prime return. You're going to get, assuming he stays healthy, has a good year, continues this, you're going to get so much more for him this off season than you would have last season. And if that's the case, Armstrong is going to come off as a genius with this, whole, and just being patient and waiting. And you know what? If he doesn't get traded this offseason, then they got until next trade deadline where they could get some good return there too. But then again, you have the same issue then as you have now with if there's chemistry, he's playing well. If we want to win the cup that year, next
Yeah,
year.
but it's a little easier when his contract's ending.
I
You
agree.
know you're not going to get anything for him in the offseason. Then it becomes a little easier. Right now,
Yeah,
you gotta see what this team's
Oh,
got.
absolutely. And I think a trade at the deadline next season, if it's clear he does not want to return, then a trade is much easier to convince the fans that was the best thing to do.
I think it's like you said, as long as he stays healthy, as long as he continues to play the way he's playing, I think we see him traded on draft day. I think in June you'll see him moved.
I can see that completely, and that makes the most sense, and that's why I don't agree at all with someone saying that he's getting traded this season, because I don't think that's I just think they're not understanding how things work, understanding situations and scenarios here, and his trade value and it can be at its peak, assuming he stays healthy. Now again, this could all blow up if he hurts his shoulder in a month, right? So you gotta roll the dice. We'll get into some Winter Classic talk, along with each state's favorite NHLer, each state and province. Hockey Reference did a thing, and Missouri's is interesting, I think, after this word from Center Ice Brewery. Center Ice Brewery is St. Louis's only hockey-themed brewhouse. Stop on in during the next game to experience the ultimate hockey fan brewery while sampling various hockey-inspired beers, such as Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, the Rotating Pale Ale Series, or seasonal offerings such as their Imperial Stout, their Lime Sherbet Sour, and much more. While you're there enjoying any number of their fantastic beverages, you can admire the bar top and tables made of authentic arena wood and the actual penalty box door from the old barn. Located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis, it's one of the best places to watch a Blues game, or any game. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in the tap room. Center Ice Brewery. Let's go Blues. Please drink responsibly. Got some comments in the YouTube chat. Doug Paddock, who first time able to listen live. Saad has been such a huge upgrade over Schwartz. Schwartz missed the net shooting more than any player I have seen. More than Parayko?
Maybe let's go more than any forward he's seen.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds a little better.
Yeah, and it's not wrong. I
Jeff Whitka is one that I remember missing the net more than anyone. And he shot every time he got the puck on the stick.
Yeah, but you didn't expect too much from Whitka. I think you expect more from Parayko if you're talking defenseman.
Drove me freaking crazy.
Ken Morris said, I was sad the day they traded Mike Liut for Greg Millen, but loved Millen in that Western Conference 7-game final in '86 against the Flames. Yeah, too bad they couldn't pull off the Game 7.
I don't know which one I want to give comment of the show to, but either way, it's going to Matt Harris again. Congratulations, Matt. Bill's internet has been placed on the NHL's COVID protocol list. Also, he says
it is symptomatic.
Yeah, right. Kyrou banished Samorokov back to the Shadow Realm, aka the AHL.
Yeah.
Both very solid comments.
That was God. I mean, what a horrible. I can't think of a worse way to start your NHL career.
No.
Your first 2 shifts, you make 2 bad plays, and it results in 2 goals, and you get 2 shifts the rest of the game, and then you're sent down again. Granted, which you probably were being sent down anyway, but still.
I also love Brandy Capone's comment. I love October as much as anyone, but maybe you need to update the graphics. That was reference to our Rockin' That ID Life ad. Yep. We have not updated that graphic, and we can blame us. But we all know it's Dustin Paul's fault.
Right. It is. Well, it's a combination. Well, actually, I switched it back to the more generic graphic, and then when Jeff was so kind enough to bump up the audio, he put it. I think you used the version that we had in October.
Okay, I can upgrade the other one.
It's fine. I mean,
we'll get a new graphic for January. How about that?
I could do it myself. I just haven't had the time to do it. But so usually we get graphics from Dustin every once in a while to update this.
Why doesn't Bill do something?
What's that?
Bill provides excellent color commentary to the show.
That's true.
Yeah. Unlike the drunk color commentator from Major League.
No, I'm just kidding. Bill provides the best commentary there is. That's what we expect from him.
He is Darren Pang like.
Yes.
What-
By the way, Doug Paddock, I believe, has conversed with us on Twitter or Facebook, or maybe he's even left comments because, yeah, I know he's a podcast listener for us, not a live show listener.
Right.
So us being able to do this during the day, pretty cool that some of these people
Yeah.
get to tune in.
That's a good point. Some people that might not be able to stay up with us when we usually do our show starting at 9:15, 9:30 can listen during the day. We got Ken Morris says the way Kairu undressed that young Russian, he should have been charged for public nudity. That was pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
We got some comments in the Facebook chat as well. Cameron Smith says, good to see you, gents. Happy to be back in Rolla for once. A very belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the 573.
Back at you.
Adam Gold says, glad it's not another Chicago Blackhawks Winter Classic game. This would be the worst year for that. Wasn't there some speculation on who the Wild would be playing? And yeah, I remember it was between the Blackhawks and the Blues. And it was even Minnesota fans were like, give us the Blues, because not only are they a better team for a better game, we're tired of seeing the Blackhawks.
Everyone is. Even Blackhawks fans are tired of playing in the Winter Classic. They don't play well in the Winter Classic, and the fans are like, oh, not again. It's a loss. But then again, they're not a good team anymore. So yeah, who wants to? I mean, aside from
Taves say that he didn't like playing in the outdoor games anymore.
He's become a little crab ass, is what he's become.
He kind of has.
He's getting old. He's like an old crotchety man or something. He's just complaining about everything. Has he scored a goal yet? He has.
I think he has one goal.
Yeah, he took him a long time to get a goal. He had that goal against the Blues. Was called back. That was funny.
I'm looking. Looks like he has 3 goals on the season.
Okay.
Wow, 13 points in 30 games for Jonathan Taves.
That time off didn't do him any favors.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Respect the guy. Also hate the guy.
What's his cap hit? Like 10.
It's like 10. It's like 10 million, isn't it?
It's 10,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the time they signed that, they both got those. Kane and Taves got the same amount of money per season. I think a lot of people thought, okay, well, Kane, okay, that makes sense. I think people were like, oh, we like Taves, but he's not a $10 million a year guy. And you know what? He's on the 100 greatest players of all time list. I don't agree with that. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good captain.
How is he on there and Joe Thornton wasn't?
because he was the captain of the Hawks when they won their first cup in forever.
Yeah, but
that is it.
I mean, I get that sentiment, and I get that maybe it was why, but it's a stupid reason. You know, he was a good player. He's been a great player. He's just the 100 best ever. No, not even close. I mean, good captain, great captain. Just he's not at that level, which is weird. I mean, anyway, Winter Classic in Minnesota tomorrow, Saturday. Where did you guys watch the 2017 Winter Classic versus Chicago? Where were you?
So for those that don't remember, that was actually not held on January 1st. It was held on January 2nd because of bowl games. It was on a Sunday, and so they played it because most people still had the second off. So yeah, I actually, unfortunately, my wife was working, so it was just me and my son sitting at home and watching the game together. So and a lot of my close friends that were going to watch the game didn't get off until right at game time because they still didn't have that time off. So I was like, well, I'm not going to wait around and miss some of the pregame stuff. So I'm just going to sit at home and watch it. So that's what we did.
Where are you at, Bill? Were you at home?
Yeah, I was at home too, and the whole time lamenting the fact that I passed on a $400 ticket to the game.
You could get tickets for this game for $100 some odd dollars,
right?
Because people are trying to unload them because it's so cold.
It'd be freezing cold.
Yeah, I had talked with my buddy Ryan, who's lives up in Minnesota now, and we've been talking, throughout the fall about, possibly getting together and going to the game up there. And ticket prices were insane. I mean, you could get stuff in the upper deck that, were a couple $100 a piece, and that wasn't going to be worth the flight. And
Yeah.
and
Right.
so, wish I would have had a plane ticket in the back of my pocket, because now would be the right time to go and buy something, because
Yeah.
I fear it's going to be sparsely attended.
Yeah. I'd go. I mean, if I was already in Minnesota, my daughter wanted to go. She was like, "Oh, can we go? Can we go?" I mean, she's just a social butterfly. She wants to do everything. But then she wanted to go. I'm like, oh, it'd be great to go. But I'm like, it's in Minnesota. We have to take a flight to you guys up there. I didn't want to pay, the 200 and some odd dollars per each ticket, or what, $300, whatever it was, for tickets. And then, and they were selling pretty quick. And I knew that if I wanted to go, I was to buy them early, because they'll cost more later. But now it pays off to wait, because you're going to get them cheaper than gate prices right now if you want to go last second. So, and it's, it serves the people right that bought a bunch of tickets and trying to sell them for a profit. Like, capitalism and all, I get it, but part of me is like, that's kind of funny.
Honestly, I would probably still consider going up there, even as far as yesterday or 2 days ago. But we've got a trip, which I know I told you guys about, coming up, that we're actually going to see the Blues in New Jersey at the end of February.
Oh,
so
Philadelphia.
My point is, I'm sorry, Philadelphia. Yes, Philadelphia. I'm watching the New Jersey game.
I know
right
your
now,
life better than you do.
Yes, you do. No, I'm watching the New Jersey game, so that's what came out. But no, going to Philly at the end of February to see the Blues in Philadelphia. So I said, you know what, that's going to be my trip this year. I don't think I need to take two.
Yeah. I don't think sitting in the cold would bother me. I just bundle up, right? And get some hand warmers and whatever. But yeah, I'm you know what? If the sight lines, okay, I wouldn't mind sitting out in the negative 17 wind feel, right? I was gonna feel outside tomorrow. But if the sight lines were better, maybe. But if you're going there and you really can't, you're not close to the ice. I hear that when you go, it's like, it's hard to, you're not close to the ice, and it's hard to see stuff, especially down low. Like, your more expensive seats, you're down low, and you can't. It's better to sit up high. At least you can kind of see down on the ice, as opposed to sitting low and looking out towards the rink. Is stuff in the way? I don't know. You think it'd be better to sit up high in an outdoor game, but whatever. I don't know. I think the experience will be just fine. Home on the couch in front of the fireplace, watching fans freeze their asses off. But
it'll definitely be toques on helmets weather for the keepers.
It'll be Mr. Alaska Rangers on the ice. What was the temperature at game time for the Mr. Alaska, the Rangers and the mystery game? Remember?
Oh, they said it was like negative 45 or something.
No, it wasn't that cold.
Wasn't it?
It wasn't that cold. That would be like a record in the U.S.
For Mystery Alaska, though, yeah.
Well, it's U.S.
A fictional town.
No, I'm gonna say it's like -6 or something.
Yeah, I forget what it was for the original outdoor game, the Oilers and Canadiens. This is, I think that still holds the record for the coldest outdoor NHL game to date, and it's going to get eclipsed tomorrow.
Yeah.
That is too obscure of a question, even for Google, Kurt.
I thought
what was the temperature in Mystery Alaska in that movie?
In the Rangers mystery? I'm sure they mention it. I'm sure they do.
They do. I remember they do.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it now.
Yeah. Anybody listening know the temperature of the game between?
But no, Bill, I was going to say, when they said that this was going to be cold, the coldest Winter Classic game, I thought about that Edmonton Montreal game way back when.
Yeah.
And I think that the temperature then was like -4, maybe. It wasn't as cold as
Fahrenheit. Celsius.
Yeah.
Was Because it was
Celsius.
Canadian, so you
Yeah.
really have to quote it in Celsius, right?
Yeah.
I was in my basement just watching the game in 17. So I mean, it was. I think I was. Yeah, had a washer delivered or something. I don't know, something weird. I was like delivery people coming with a washer and dryer. But yeah, fantastic. Good times. Bought some memorabilia. 2016. So last like 5-6 years has been a pretty eventful special time for Blues fans in what's happened. So in 2016, we exercised the demons against Chicago and finally beat them in a playoff series in 7 games after we had some heartbreakers a couple of times before. And Chicago hasn't been the same since. It was the fantastic finish in that game 7, the double post from Keith hit the
Brower.
post.
Right.
Brower scored the
Yeah.
goal for the Blues, but the double post against Elliott was what Keith's shot. I mean Keith's shot.
Keith or Seabrook.
One of the two, I think it was. Yeah,
One of those two guys.
such a great game 7. And then the in the next year, 2017, the Winter Classic win versus the Blackhawks. 2018 was the season was left a lot to be desired. But the off season in 18 was the greatest off season acquisitions in franchise history, which led to the 2019 amazing Cup run, and 2020 was the All-Star game in St. Louis, and first place in the Western Conference when the season was paused and then it'll be cut short due to COVID. And 2021, first place in the division to end 2021, which is right now, and a lot to look forward to for this team. I mean, there's a lot of young kids on this team that driving this team. So the player acquisitions and the young kids, you would think that people were saying before the season, windows closing or windows closed for the Cup. I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, they're playing really well. They've got some young kids that are really dynamic and are really good. It's a very deep team. So this window is wide open right now. They're good enough. Whether they're going to get done or not, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, the way that they're playing now, I mean, the fact that they didn't implode with all of the roster turnover because of injury and COVID-19, this team has really almost, found another gear during that time frame when you'd expect that they would be, really just wanting to tread water and get through it and get guys through through having the infection and back in the lineup. But man, everybody that they've brought in has been impactful and has contributed to the success of the team. And we have played so incredibly well. I mean, everybody, Charlie Lindgren,
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, John Gillies, he got 1 game and played really well.
Mm-hmm. I was at that game.
Just that timing wasn't good for him to stick around with Bennington coming back, and now it looks like Husso's gonna be pretty close. But yeah, I mean, those guys, even Toropchenko, his first game should have scored a couple of goals,
Yeah,
and is playing the right style, right? They're playing that heavy forecheck game that was so successful in 2019. So there is so much to be excited about as we go forward. And I think that coming off that game against Edmonton, you love that. You love seeing them see that one out and getting the win, and setting it up going into tomorrow. Right? There's just so much to be excited about, and now we just have to hope that the game goes off tomorrow.
and it's funny because you mentioned the roster turnover since 19 has been significant, and also the style of this team, the makeup is vastly different. We're not a heavy smothering team anymore. We're much more about puck movement, playing fast, and we're still getting the results. And this has been honestly the most of the franchise's history has been at the very least a competitive team, save for a few years here and there. right? But it was, I mean, they've been very good, and it's Blues fans are probably spoiled in terms of having a team that is good with just the one cup win. And we have a special guest in studio.
Yes, yes, we do. Shay, do you want to say hi? Say hi.
Jeff's son
Shay, say
Shay.
hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
Hey,
say,
Shay.
he can't hear us.
let's. Say let's
Yes.
go. Go. Say go.
Go.
Blues. Yeah.
there you
let's
go.
Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be watching the Winter Classic tomorrow. He loves watching the games now.
Need to teach him Red Wings suck.
Oh, we'll get there. Shay, can you say red wings suck?
There you go.
There you
There you
go.
go. He's a quick learner.
He's natural.
He is.
He's awesome. Let's see. And then I was running on the timeline, and then this year the Winter Classic, and currently in first place in the Central. And who knows how the rest of the season is going to go next season. I mean, since 16, and before that even. I mean, since the Blues came out of their 3-year skid where they were awful in the mid 2000s, they've been. I mean, since bringing in Oshie, Backus, Perron, and the drafted players, they've been a great team. Best record in the NHL or in the Western Conference, most points since I think 2010 or 11. So, I mean, enjoy this. I mean, we talked before the season started about how deep this team was, and people were saying how their cup windows closed. I'm like, we talked about how deep this team was and how good they could be, and when they're healthy, they're a good team. So, just got to make. I mean, they had some defensive issues that's looking better. So we'll see how that goes, but it'd still be nice to get a tough, big, stay-at-home, effective defenseman.
I agree. That's the one thing I think missing from this team. But man,
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, enjoy it. And yeah, we're all sitting here worried about the playoffs. Can they repeat or not repeat, but repeat as 82 game champions.
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, just enjoy it, fans. That's what I always get so upset. Well, it doesn't matter if they're winning now. It matters what they do in the playoffs.
Oh, it matters.
I never liked that. Even before they won the cup. For me, it was always, you want to see them win in the playoffs. That is more important. But this is entertainment. We're supposed to be entertained, right? So enjoy the games that are being played now.
Some of my best memories in hockey ever, up until the cup run. Obviously, we hadn't won a cup before 19, but I mean, fantastic memories of regular season games, playoffs. In series we lost, but my God, I mean, I've the fondest memories of just remembering certain players, just that time of my life. So much fun. I wouldn't trade it, for anything. We got the cup eventually, which is fantastic. The teams with Jeff Brown, Doug Gilmore, all those, just going back for forever. So much fun. 6 p.m. St. Louis start time for the game tomorrow. It's going to be cold. We talked about that. -5 degrees right now, or at least was yesterday. The forecast at puck drop will feel like -17. It will be, if that holds, the coldest Winter Classic ever. On one hand, a 6 p.m. start for the Winter Classic is great because I think, in generally speaking, no sun is much better for not only just TV viewing, but for the players and probably the fans too. But in Minnesota, it's going to be a lot colder.
Why? Is
Right.
because TNT wanted the prime time. Because what else are they going to? They even said, like, what else we're going to show at prime time on New Year's Day?
Right. And also, if you look back at the Lake Tahoe game last year, all the trouble they had, it was cold enough, but the sun was out. And all the dark graphics under the ice, when the sun's out, that's that much warmer. And so there was slush over where the graphics were, and they had to cancel. They had to postpone the game until later at night when the sun went down. So that has to be fixed.
They didn't even postpone until night. Didn't they postpone until like midnight local time?
It was late. Yeah, well, they had to
Yeah.
repair the ice and everything and let it refreeze and all that stuff. But yeah, that was bad. And I never understood why they don't do more of that, more evening games, because then there's less competition with bowl games too, right? There's a lot of bowl games during the day.
Right.
I guess there's some in the evening too, but
Yeah.
But still, no sun. It's just I think it's better on camera presentation, better TV presentation, and less slush. It's probably colder in a lot of cities too. So
Right. I saw a headline earlier that said that the NHL is probably actually going to have to put some heat on the ice to keep it from breaking because
Yeah.
it's going to be so cold tomorrow.
that's what that's a good point, because I read an article that somebody was saying, well, they won't have a problem with the ice because of the temperature. And I thought, no, it's too cold. It's too cold. It's gonna
Right.
that ice is pretty thin. It's not like 6 inches thick. The ice is like what, an inch or two thick tops.
Yeah.
So that is, if it's too cold, it's too brittle. It gets brittle. So
Well, and it's like if it's Lake Tahoe where it's literally just ice upon ice upon ice, okay, you can make that work. But yeah, with 6 inches of ice, you got to be careful with that.
or 2 inches. What is it? It's
2 inches.
Yeah,
I think you're
it's
right.
2 inches or less.
Yeah.
Lots of people selling tickets. We talked about that. I think that's hilarious. This is the battle for first place: Minnesota and St. Louis. Berube said Barbashev and Bushnevich and Sundqvist should be good to go for the Winter Classic.
Didn't Sundqvist come off protocol today?
Yeah. Well,
Or
he
was
did.
already off?
Well, he didn't come off. He wasn't off in time for last game. Although,
yeah, but I just think that might be a little. These guys want to participate in the game because usually don't they want a couple days to? Sorry, he wants me to play Bop It. We're not playing Bop It right now, buddy. But
I play Bop It. It's fun.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just afraid. Is he going to have his legs under him? Right.
Yeah.
Because you can't skate when you're in COVID protocol.
Right.
So today's going to be his first day skating before the big game.
Now you can't skate with the team. Can you skate otherwise, like on your own?
I don't think you're allowed to leave your house. You can't use the practice facility.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We have yet. This should be the first, barring any other issues, should be the first time we've had a full roster in forever. And we've yet to play Minnesota.
Did you mention Shen?
No, but Shen has been skating, and they expect him to play too. He's been skating for a while.
Yeah, he has.
So I mean, his legs should be okay. You think? Minnesota hasn't played a lot of hockey lately. 4 of their last 6 games have been postponed, and the 2 they played during those 6 they lost. 1 to Buffalo 3-2 in a shootout, and a 7-4 loss to Dallas. And they lost the 2 games prior to those 6 games, as well as 6-4 loss to Vegas and a 2-1 loss to LA. Minnesota's last win was on December 9th versus San Jose, 5-2. They've lost 4 straight and haven't played since December 20th. And it's not like they've had a lot of COVID issues either. They're during the losing streak. They're just losing. So I think a lot of people may have thought that Minnesota was overachieving up to this point in the season. So maybe they're coming back down to earth a little bit. I don't know. But I thought they were playing over their heads a little bit. But we'll see. I think the Blues are playing well. Minnesota is riding a losing streak. So I mean it on paper it bodes well for the Blues to have a good game. So hopefully that carries over.
Doug Paddock, we should mention his comment to completely wipe away what I said. Sundqvist was skating prior to the Oilers game. He came off COVID protocol the day before the Oilers game. So he'll be fine. No issues there. I thought it was today, but that's good to hear.
Okay. Rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. Hockey Reference posted this showed this on Twitter. And whenever they do this kind of thing, like every state's favorite, whatever, it's meant to get clicks and views and spark discussion, which, okay, we'll do it. I'll play along. But so they did a poll of some kind. And so it lists every state's in the U.S. and every province in Canada, their favorite hockey player as a whole. And Missouri's is Wayne Gretzky. Do you buy that? As far
Texas's is Wayne Gretzky.
I know,
that feels weird. Like I get that in states that, even maybe like Georgia, a Wayne Gretzky be in there. But with Dallas winning the Stanley Cup
Florida.
and having good teams, how is it not Mike Modano
Florida's
or
Florida's
Joe
Wayne Gretzky
Nieuwendyk?
too. Florida's Wayne Gretzky too.
Right. How?
Yeah.
Tennessee is Wayne Gretzky. How is it not, Shea Weber or Pekka Rinne?
Tennesseans
Right.
can't even spell Gretzky.
My favorite is
Excellent point.
Louisiana's.
Louisiana's.
Ron Hextall.
Well, you know what? I mean,
How? Was Ron Hextall just passing through Louisiana and they said, "Who's your favorite player?" And he said Ron Hextall, and that's the only person they asked?
that is a weird. I mean, it's not like, Louisiana is right next to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That is why. That is odd. That's an odd one.
Patrick
But yeah,
Laine is, what is that, New Mexico?
that's
One
weird
right next
too.
to Texas. Yeah.
Well, there's like
what is that?
there's like 24 people in New Mexico. So
That's
I
true.
mean, maybe there's like 3 or 4 Jets fans.
I don't know. Missouri actually makes more sense to me than the Texas, Louisiana, the Florida.
I'm not saying Missouri's the worst by any means. I just don't buy it because, I mean, you telling me that Wayne Gretzky is a more favorited player in Missouri than Brett Hull, Al McInnes, a number of the players that were on the Cup
Bernie
team,
was still
Fedorko,
on like part of Blues Nation.
Yeah, I mean, Fedorko is beloved. Plager, beloved players. Wayne Gretzky is not beloved here in Missouri.
He's beloved. I'll say he's beloved.
Wayne
but
Gretzky,
not like the other guys.
Wayne Gretzky is admired. I get that. I mean, is admired, respected, but half of Blues Nation hates Wayne Gretzky. Let's be honest. They don't like him because of what happened with the turnover at center. I mean, it's that half of them hold a grudge. They think he cost the Blues that game. So,
Matt Harris asks the article's link. I don't know if you have that, Kurt. If you can post that in the YouTube chat.
I don't think
he says he's curious what Arkansas is. What is Arkansas?
Arkansas is Leon Draisaitl.
What?
Along with Idaho.
I see. I don't have a link for it. If you go to hockeyreference.com's Twitter account, they shared it. They didn't share a link to this. They just posted the infographic. So that's what I'm going by.
Is that Montana? That's
and you
Boone
can't
Jenner?
tell me that this is at all historical because Carey Price is the favorite in Quebec. And
right.
No offense, he's an amazing goaltender, but Guy Lafleur, Patrick Waugh, Larry Robinson, Maurice Richard, Jean Beliveau.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, favorite players. I mean, what are you asking? Like 18-year-old kids, or I mean, it's like I don't know.
How about the Northwest Territories being Pavel Dimitra?
Yeah, that too.
That's a little odd.
Is there a high Slovak?
Maybe
there's a high Slovak population there. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sidney Crosby. I mean, you'd think he'd be. He's up there.
Sidney is in the Nunavut area.
He's in
area. Right?
Sidney Crosby, Arizona too. That's odd.
Yeah, would that be maybe Austin Matthews?
You would think, since he's from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some of these are weird. Some of these are funny. Like I would love, and they didn't really say who they pulled, how they pulled, how many, how scientific it was. I can't imagine that it was very scientific. But whatever. You would think.
Matt Harris says.
You know what's great about this is that Wayne Gretzky is the favorite player in Missouri, but not in Alberta. What is that?
Yeah, how is that possible?
I mean, okay, McDavid is a favorite, maybe amongst young fans now, but if you polled all age groups, come on, it's Wayne Gretzky, probably, right?
It has to be.
It's got to be. So weird.
Chris Letang is Hawaii's favorite, apparently. Just so odd.
Maybe he vacationed there, and I don't know.
Maybe
one time he has a home there in the summer. I don't know. Vasilevsky is Alaska. Is he from Alaska? No, he's not from. I mean, is he? Does he
No.
go to? He doesn't live there, does he? That's what I meant.
Baby, I would doubt it.
I don't know. That's yeah. You would think he'd live in Florida somewhere.
That's literally the exact opposite of where he plays hockey.
Right, I know. Well, you can't get farther away either.
I hate Florida. I got to get away when I'm not there.
Anyway, it's kind of funny, kind of comical. I don't understand. I mean, I understand Wayne Gretzky in Missouri, but it doesn't. But I not fully because there's so many more players that would be favorites here, and how he's not the favorite in Alberta is weird. Anyway, and Austin Matthews in Ontario. That's I mean, so many great Maple Leaf players, right?
I don't get it.
Okay. So I shared this on Twitter, and there was a there was a response to the original post from the Hockey Reference, and this is the account JVBC57 at Vicenza Veneto, must be Italian. Why would anyone pick a goalie as a favorite player? It's the equivalent of picking a place kicker.
Wow.
Worst. And I did comment on Twitter. I was like, this is the worst take I've ever seen. I think it's awful.
My favorite player right now is a goaltender.
One of my favorite players, Chris Joseph, was a goalie. I mean, he's like top 3 for me. So
well, and I guess Bill Day is nobody's favorite player ever.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be.
You're not allowed to be anyone's favorite player, Bill.
Bill's favorite player is well, who is your favorite player, Bill? Not favorite Blues player, favorite player all time.
My favorite player currently,
all time,
or my all time, Patrick Waugh, hands down,
goalie. Yeah. So, and Liud is up there.
Liud is right up there. He's the reason why I started playing goal, but Patrick Waugh redefined the position. So
he did.
How about non-goalie? What is your favorite non-goalie of all time?
Fedorko.
Wow, nice,
solid choice.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
You know what's something funny about Fedorko is that I think he tends to be forgotten. It's been a while, right? And I think people think of him more as a broadcaster now, the kids do anyway, than a player. And I think when you list favorite players, I think you might get a lot of responses for Fedorko from the folks who were around when he was playing. But it's a shame that I don't think he's appreciated as much as he probably should be from newer fans that come around the past 20 years or so.
Honestly, even fans at the time, I mean, people still say one of the most underrated players of all time because he played in the Gretzky-Lemieux era.
Yeah, and he
was a hell of a player in his own right.
You know, they called behind the net Gretzky's office, but I think technically Fedorko was doing it before Gretzky.
Yeah.
So
I remember on the Puck podcast, our friends over there, they were going through Hall of Famers for each team, and I remember they said Bernie Fedorko for the St. Louis Blues. Really? And they looked up his stats, and they were like, and they're very smart hockey guys, but they were like, wow, we didn't realize he had such a good career. And it's like, yeah, because nobody ever talked about him because it was always Gretzky-Lemieux.
Yeah. This same guy also responded to somebody else saying Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup 3 times in 5 years with 3 different goalies. They're not game changers, only as good as the team in front of them. He's just following up one bad take after another.
I'll say I'd say that might be true for a few goalies here and there, but not the majority of goaltenders in the NHL.
A good goalie can sink a bad. Go ahead, Bill.
You need a strong goalie to win the cup, and the Hawks the Hawks aren't the best example here, but look at the Blues. Binnington. The Blues do not win that cup without Jordan Binnington playing out of this world goaltending for the Blues. I mean,
I would go as far to say the same case with Andrei Vasilevsky. As good as Tampa is, he's had 2 unbelievable runs here.
Oh yeah. Montreal could easily have won that series if Vasilevsky didn't shut them down last year. And you know, I'd say it really was over after Game 3 in that series, but Vasilevsky was impenetrable.
And Bergevin still has a job if Vasilevsky doesn't shut down Montreal, and they win
That's
the
true.
cup.
So really, it's
So
a blessing
thank
in
you.
disguise for you.
Thank
Bill.
you, Andre.
Yeah, a good goalie can carry a bad team. We saw with Hasek in Buffalo, right? Buffalo wasn't a bad team, but Hasek was that team. He's the reason why they were successful and they got to the Stanley Cup final against Hull and the Stars. But and a bad goalie can sink a good team. You saw that. You see it all the time.
Roman Turek
for the Blues against Colorado. Yeah, I mean, he had a bad series, and the Blues were playing well overall. Outplayed Colorado in a chunk of that series. Didn't get the results because their goaltending was porous. So, yeah. Anyway, anything else, guys? We can wrap it up and be on our way, and we can go to our do nothings for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, big do nothings. That's right.
Yeah. The only thing I would have left during the show, it's breaking that Betty White has passed away at age 99. So
You missed
I think
that
we
earlier.
need
Yeah.
a toast.
Yeah, we did. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but yes, we should toast Betty White. It was a good call.
When I was gone. Well,
Yes.
cheers.
Here's the Betty White.
Cheers, Betty White. And your Ryan Reynolds love affair that never really materialized. Which I guess Bill missed that too. Ryan Reynolds just a couple days ago when they were talking about her celebrating her 100th, he lamented about the lost love or whatever it was that he never got over her.
Yep.
So
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yeah. She can't hear us. But
Bye bye. Sign off.
bye bye. Sign off. Time to go. Gotta play Bop It. All right. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by texting Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's hockey-themed brewery. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or to make a reservation in their tap room. Located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis. It's one of the best places to watch a Blues game. That's centericebrewery.com. Please drink responsibly. That'll wrap up episode 16 of season 10 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Damkert Price, until next time, everyone, Happy New Year. Be safe. Be happy. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Happy New Year. Enjoy the Winter Classic. And Shay, can you say it? Say let's. Say let's. Come on, buddy. Say let's.
Let's
Go.
Blues.
Say go.
Go.
Blues. Yeah.
It could have been love it. All right. See you guys.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to #1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite